Okay, welcome to another episode of TalkNTaste. I'm Brandon Bass. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Bannister, with his phone ringing and shit. We got a special guest today, Mark Hulsewe.
Thank you, Brandon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. No.
So, this TalkNTaste. So I want to talk to you a little bit first about your taste. All right, so when it comes to fashion, what's your taste of fashion?
Man, I like classy. I like suits. Like dressing nice.
Dressing nice?
I like dressing nice.
So nice is suits for you?
Yes. Or just, anything just, I don't know. It could be a button-up shirt, but just, classy, I guess,
It's classy, huh?
Yeah.
What you next to?
I think he a classic guy. I think you'd say you're more of a t-shirt guy, t-shirt and jeans type.
Yeah.
You don't really not big on designer.
Right.
Yeah, just keep it simple. Less is more.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What about your taste when it comes to food?
Oh, I love Thai cuisine. It's like, I don't know why, I got introduced to Thai like 10 years ago, and I've just been eating that all the time.
Spicy?
Spicy is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What gives you the feeling of nostalgia?
Oh man, just anything from the '90s, I guess. Like grew up. That was the decade grew up in, and just anything.
Give me something from the '90s that give you that amazing feeling.
Oh man, just even if I look at it like from Pokemon or something like back in the day, I'm like, man, that's because it was just everything. Everybody grew up with that, and I don't know, it's just, yeah.
Were you a Pokemon collector? Pokemon card collector?
No, I was. Well, actually, I was. I collected the original Pokemon set back in the day because, I don't know, I thought it was just something cool. Everybody was doing it, and I was like, oh yeah, let's see what this is about.
Yeah, man. I done bought a whole bunch of Pokemon cards.
Did you really?
My son Brandon Jr. I used to have to go buy him some.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I used to have to get him the They used to have levels to the cards, right?
Yeah.
You had to try to find what was the big card in the pack that you had to get, because he's the one to go to school and trade them with other kids.
Right.
Did you do that too?
No, I never traded with kids. I was just just collecting. I put it straight in the little envelope protection box, and I just put it away. Because I thought it was just pretty cool,
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you play sports growing up?
Yeah, I played basketball. That was my favorite sport to play growing up. I played some football too. I also did martial arts. I got into martial arts when I was 7 or 8 years old, and I did that every day until I was 20, and actually became an instructor for several years. Yeah.
So are you good with the mitts and boxing?
Good with the
pad work?
Yeah, good with pad work and also footwork too. I try to balance the whole thing.
Yeah. So that's what I like. That's what I've been doing for over the years for cardio. I do some boxing training.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm pretty decent with the pad work. That's kind of my favorite thing too about the training is the pad work.
Right.
Because from watching Mayweather.
Yeah, of course.
And he's famous for the pad work.
No, of course.
You know what? We got some like this or like that when it comes to fighters for you, since you like fighting.
Right.
TJ, you got something for him?
I got Mike Tyson or Evander Holyfield.
Oh. I'd have to go with Mike because the man he was a different animal in the ring. On his best days, he would just annihilate pretty much anybody that came across his way. So he had his whole peekaboo style and everything like that, and he was just very ferocious in his mindset too, everything.
Right.
Yeah. Holyfield is still a great fighter, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But Tyson was just something else.
So you know Holyfield beat Tyson though, right?
I do.
Huh.
I do.
But you like Tyson better?
Because I look at the overall, because you can't win everything.
Right.
Even the best, greatest.
Mayweather did though.
Yeah, Mayweather
did it.
he's on a whole different, undefeated. So good for.
He's a whole different what? Go on, say it.
He's a different breed, you know. Like
Even compared to Mike Tyson.
in his particular style.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
But Mike, let's get into Mike Tyson because don't you think he a unique individual when it comes to the fight game?
Of course. Yeah.
And how he came to the ring with no socks on and no black shoes.
Yeah. Just straight from the streets.
How he looked when he stepped in the ring.
Yep.
The look he gave his opponents.
Yes.
What you think about that? You think Mike was a bully?
I don't know, but I do know is that he had to survive. You know, like he grew up in a very rough environment. I knew he was getting into street fights
As a kid.
as like 12 years old, like
Yeah.
and just all the time, and like he was just, and not because he like wanted to for fun, because it was a survival thing, and so I feel like that really embedded in him, you know, that killer instinct and drive. But also at the same time, people don't realize that Mike has a soft side too. Like he actually really doesn't like to hurt people. And there's been multiple times where he really hurt somebody and he like freaked out over like how they were. So he has that dynamic inside of him too, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, because like when I watch Mike Tyson old fights or when I watch his highlights, right?
Right.
He he stared at his opponents, bro, and I feel like he scared him with that.
Yeah, of course.
Like and I feel like a lot of times his fights he beat people before the fight started,
Yeah.
but he couldn't do that with Holyfield.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I think Holyfield was able to beat him because he wasn't afraid of him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all the game is big time mental. You know, people don't realize how much these competitive sports, it's all a big mind game.
Let me ask you this. You said about him, like the way he grew up, right?
Right.
Do you feel like that gave him an edge over every opponent that he went against? Just because he's like, you know, you come from street, you know, you fighting in the streets all the time, and then now like that's like it's survivor mode. Like he can't let anybody beat him because of where he came from.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
You know, there is no like. I think in his mind, failure is death. Literally.
Right.
You know, and when you take it to that extreme, that pushes you to an area of survival that, you know, no other circumstance can push you towards.
Right.
And that's what I felt really drove him to be the way he was and helped him be as successful as he was, is because he was willing to do whatever it took to push forward and survive.
How do you think you get somebody to tap into that what he has, if you didn't come from that?
That's a great question. And it ultimately comes down to rewiring your neurocircuitry. We are all brought up in a certain way, certain circumstances. We all have different ways that we grew up in, and that those experiences hardwire your mind to be a certain way. The superpower that we have is neuroplasticity. We can make new choices, and based off of those new choices, we can rewire our brain to be successful or whatever pathway we choose. Just rewiring that old circuitry, that is the hardest part. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like the power is out there, and like one of my favorite books is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, where Joseph Murphy talks about the power we have within, about altering our subconscious mind from our programming from our past to become the greatest version of ourselves now. Once you're able to do that, you can tap into the 1% that, you know, people don't. The top 1%, you know, are tapping into, who are the greatest performers and the greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, CEOs, etc. They tap into that greatest version of themselves to accomplish whatever they want.
So like, the power of the subconscious mind is like, let's say in basketball terms. You feel what?
Yep. I know you want.
So in basketball terms, it's like it's like you practicing every day.
Yes.
On your skills.
Yes.
And and like you wiring your mind and your body to be able to perform
Right.
at a certain level.
Exactly.
Once you get on the court.
Yes.
And when you go out there and play and without worry or fear, you tapping into your subconscious mind, and which someone may call the zone. Is when you being your best self.
That's exactly it.
You know what I'm saying?
100%. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So you feel like when you ask the question to you saying like you saying somebody tapping into what you felt like Mike Tyson was tapping into.
Like that, just like a street fight, like him thinking about
just that killer instinct.
Yeah, just that killer instinct. Like, bro, I can't let him beat me. Then he thinking about probably people from the hood that he grew up with gonna laugh at him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you get beat up when you're a jit, boy. Then you gonna get picked at for a long time.
You're right.
You gonna get picked at for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like when he said it's like you felt like Mike Tyson is like you felt like when you grow up a certain way it's like losing is like death.
Correct.
So that's like it's kind of like the kids today who are so competitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they feel like if they lose they gonna die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that is like something that I feel like that you can tap into to where. But control, meaning like you go out there and compete at such a level that, you know, if you lose, you know, that's how you compete as if that would happen if you lose, but you don't actually die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just compete at that level as if that was gonna happen.
Right.
But yeah, Mike is interesting, man. But yeah, what's the next one?
So Daniel Cormier or Anderson Silva? UFC.
Yeah. What was the first fighter again?
Daniel Cormier.
I don't know him either.
I don't know him.
But I know
Silva.
Silva.
I know Silva.
Right.
So we go Anderson Silva then, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my next one, Mayweather or Sugar Ray?
Oh man.
Shit. Them some bad mother suckers.
Right.
Yeah. I think Sugar Ray is up there in one of the greatest boxers of all time. I feel like I might have to give it to Sugar Ray. If it has to be a technical match, then I think it'd have to go with Mayweather because he's just a master at like bobbing and weaving and dodging, and that's the whole name of the game. Hit, don't get hit. He's the master at that. So maybe from a technical standpoint, Mayweather.
Yeah.
But like, if Sugar connects, like different story.
Right.
So I got a take on that.
All right, go for it.
So I'm a boxing lover, and so sometimes I go to sleep to Mayweather fights. Like that's how I'm able to relax because I could just, I don't know, just watch the fights, right?
Right.
But look, then I felt like I just knew too much about Mayweather. I wanted to know about other fighters.
Mm-hmm.
So Sugar Ray, I started watching his fights because, you know, they in the same class.
Right.
And people always talk about how much better Sugar Ray is than Mayweather.
Correct.
But when I watched the fights, right, Sugar Ray has all the talent in the world, the speed, the power, the way he fights is exciting.
Yeah.
But what was the guy name that beat him? I think he was a Mexican fighter. Bro, the dude that ended up quitting the second fight. That Sugar Ray that said no mas. He said in bro, what's his name, bro?
I know you're talking about too.
Is this Mexican fighter that starts with a D? Is it bro? What's his name, bro? Roberto Duran.
Okay.
Roberto Duran.
Yeah.
So the reason why I think that Mayweather is better than Sugar Ray, because Sugar Ray lost to Roberto Duran in the first fight.
Right.
And he didn't lose to him because Roberto Duran was better than him. He lost to him because he didn't use his mind.
Gotcha.
He didn't even think against him.
Okay.
And since boxing is a thinking man game, and we watch Mayweather outthink everybody,
right,
no matter their styles. I think Mayweather is the best.
Yeah.
He's better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll go next one.
Next one. Now I want to go into. You say you played basketball growing up.
Yeah.
All right. So, Tim Duncan or Hakeem Olajuwon?
Oh man, I'd have to say Hakeem, but it's close. Tim is really good.
That's tough.
Who you say?
For my game, if I had to play with one of those, I would want to have Tim Duncan.
Okay.
He gonna give me assists.
Yeah.
PG, come off big fundamental. He
Absolutely.
gonna hit the off the glass shots.
Yeah.
You know, so and he could play low post. Hakeem got to do all. He got a lot of moves that he got to play off of down there.
Right.
So he gonna take away some of my assists from the post speed.
Oh my God.
Tim might just go one dribble, turn around on one dribble. You know,
Yeah.
turn. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, Hakeem gonna take my assists away. So I'm gonna go with. Hakeem. Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna go with
fair
Tim.
enough. Fair enough.
Who you got, B?
Out of those two,
Yeah.
that's tough for me, man. That's tough, bro. I'm just gonna say Tim because I played against Tim. You know, I talked with Tim. I'm gonna just say Tim because I never played against Olajuwon.
Right.
I don't know him, but
Right.
and then when Olajuwon was playing, I was watching MJ. I didn't even pay attention to
Right.
Olajuwon
No,
like
of
that.
course.
But I still know his impact on the game. But I'm gonna say Tim.
All right.
Yeah.
Next one is Charles Barkley or Larry Johnson.
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley played with Houston. Oh, you just saying Charles
Charles
Barkley? I thought
Barkley,
you were saying
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
All right. Giannis or Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, Shaq. With all due respect to Giannis, but Shaq.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the last one, Joel Embiid or David Robinson.
Robinson.
Damn. Not even. Just right to it.
Yeah.
Robinson.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell me about growing up in California.
Well, I was born there,
Mm-hmm.
but I only stayed there for like 2 years or so before my parents. So we all went to Brazil because my mom is Brazilian, and then we all went down there for like 2 or 3 years. I actually learned Portuguese as my first language down there, and then came to Orlando, and I've been here ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with both parents?
Yes.
Did you notice any benefits of you growing up with both of your parents versus kids you go to school with not growing up with both? Anything that would possibly impact you positive and negative?
Yeah, like I feel like the dynamic of the relationship between the parents, like I feel like establishes a balance for the kids. You know, these children growing up in single family homes all the time, you see the drastic impact that it has, especially a fatherless home. Like there is a direct association with fatherless homes and increased crime rates amongst the peers that are in that environment. The balance is so crucial, and like when the father isn't there and the mother has to tack on all the responsibilities, like it's not meant to be that way. This society that we're in, where there's such a proclivity of people giving up and being in the single family homes, I feel like has a drastic impact on future generations.
Okay. What are some of the things that stood out to you as a kid of the relationship your mom and your dad had that you feel like it impacts you today?
I feel like I had a balanced upbringing with my parents because I saw the dynamic of the two of what they try to do for helping each other out, individually as well as collectively, and how that helped try to maintain a balanced home is how I felt growing up.
You as a kid in school or growing up, how was life for you growing up?
It was outside of my parents and my family. Like I had the worst childhood. I had a horrible childhood, and it came down to a being rejected at the schools that I went to because of my height. You know, like just growing up, I was just really skinny growing up. Clothes didn't fit me right. And just, you know, all the kids projected their insecurities onto me and would say some of the nastiest things you can possibly imagine. And I was secluded. You know, I was treated as an outcast, even though, like, I tried being nice to everybody. Like, truly, like, this is the person that I am. Like, I want kindness and, like, hey, why can't we all just be nice? And they weren't that way to me because for whatever reason, they projected their insecurities onto me. So every single day was like hell, truly. You know, I'd go to school, deal with the harassment from peers in between classes. I couldn't even concentrate on my classes because I'm worried about the harassment. Come home and then, you know, try to have some normalcy, play Super Mario or some video games to decompress, and then play basketball, and then start the next day with the same cycle.
People harass you with words or with physical too?
No, it was always words, man. Like, and that's one of the reasons why I took martial arts as a kid is because I wanted to, you know, defend myself in case somebody actually wanted to hit me. But that never happened ever. Instead, they went at me with their words. And I was told, like, you know, it doesn't mean anything. Sticks and stones can break my bones.
I was just thinking of that. But go ahead, say it again.
Yeah. So, like, and that's...
You said, what?
The whole sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me.
They will hurt, no.
And, well, neuroscience has proven that words are vibration, and they have tremendous power, and they literally affect your cells. So if you tell somebody they're a piece of whatever, and they truly believe that, like a whole darkness encompasses their aura, their energy field, and they enter into a negative vibration, a negative frequency, and they start drawing in a lot of problems into their life. And that's what I feel like, you know, we're not educated on, and that's the poison behind saying things to one another, is that your words do have power. They're not just meaningless things that go in the ether and they disappear. They actually carry incredible power. So,
bro, you know it's crazy. There was a picture that showed, let's say, it was like the parent standing behind the kid, and the little kid, it was like the tongue was going out of the parent's mouth but going through the kid's mouth, and like he was picking at another kid. And that reminded me of, like, you know, maybe the kids that was joking with you and picking at you didn't grow up in a positive home, you know what I mean? So
no, you're absolutely right, TJ. And my studying psychology in college, like, I understood, like, you know, why children behave this way. And a lot of them, if not all of them, they have negative influences in their environments, whether it comes from an abusive family, drug addiction, alcoholism, sexual abuse. You know, growing up in a tough hood environment where you just got to be tough, and that's the way it is. Otherwise, you die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, these circumstances are literally hardening the hearts of individuals, poisoning their souls, and they don't know better.
Right.
So they project that energy that they have. You can't give you cannot give what you don't have.
Right.
So if you're filled with darkness, you're going to give that darkness.
Right.
And that's what people are doing on a subconscious level, on a mass scale.
Yeah.
And that's what's leading towards the proclivity of violence, especially in America, of people with suicides and murders and mass shootings.
When you was in school, when you was experiencing that, did you have any kind of ways to, like, counter it, or you just kind of got, I guess you just were just attacked and you ain't know what to do?
That's it.
Okay.
I just took it because they talk about two survival mechanisms: fight or flight, right? There's a third one: freeze. And that's what I did. I froze. I didn't know how to react. Like, for everyone else, it was so easy for them to be like, hey, you say something bad to me, I'm going to say something bad to you. When people said something bad to me, I didn't put it back because that's not who I am as a person. Like, I truly just believe in just being kind and nice and just being a good human being.
Right.
And so it was like baffling to me as a kid, like, why are they behaving that way? I just don't understand. But because I didn't understand neuroscience and psychology and all that stuff much later, that I had no way of defending. I didn't know the proper mechanisms to defend my soul and my spirit at the time. So I just froze. I froze and went into recluse. Wanted to just, okay, y'all don't like me. I don't need to be friends with y'all. I'm just going to do my own thing. you're gonna say poisonous things to me, whatever. I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm just gonna just do my own thing, pretend I don't exist. That's what I did to survive for me.
So, like, if you was to go tell your younger self something today on how to deal with that, what would you tell them?
Study the power of vibration. Because the moment I learned about energy and frequency and how, like, you know, some of us took like physics class in high school, and we learn about how the laws of the world work, but we are not taught how we as human beings are incorporated into that same world that we're living and studying in. And turns out that we are incredibly powerful creatures of vibration and energy. And Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, energy, frequency, and vibration. And it all just made sense to me. When you go into a car and you dial a radio station, you're tuning into a specific frequency that's in the airwaves that we can't see because we can only see 1% of the visible light spectrum. The big secret that we were never taught is that our thoughts do the same thing. Our thoughts literally tap into that same frequency of energy. So I would have known that back then and go like, oh, I can stop this low vibration that I'm in of anger, sadness, depression, you know, all these negative things that are dragging me down. And I wondered, like, oh, no wonder all these bad things continue to happen to me because I'm in such a low energy and vibration that I'm drawing more of that to me. So when I found out this revelation, I switched my own energy to be like, okay, none of you can affect me. I can consciously decide that. But if you don't consciously decide that, then those words enter your subconscious mind and control your behavior for the rest of your life. And that's 99% of the population. The 1% are able to, whether subconsciously or consciously, realize that the power is within them, that they can be the field of energy that affects, instead of you being affected by the outside, you affect the outside. And that never changed when I heard that you go into a room and your energy can literally affect the entire room in a positive way. No matter how negative the room might be, your energy field is so positive and your cup is so overflowing with joy and love and fulfillment and gratitude and all these things that you can affect everyone else, and you can essentially do a domino effect of like lighting a candle and spreading your light everywhere else rather than be affected by the darkness.
That's cool. That is. That's cool.
Keeping it real.
That's I kind of lost my thought just thinking about everything you were saying. But yeah, man. TJ, have you ever seen any kids like? Have you ever experienced that or know someone that experienced it?
Part of the reason right now why I don't want to get fat and not have a dad bod is because when I was younger, I was always called short fat. That was my nickname.
Gotcha.
So they gave me short fat, and then like now he'll laugh at me when you said that the other day. He was like, "Man, the son of fat people," you know. He's like, Joe, he's like fat people that don't want to go run and work out.
Right.
And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, bro. I used to be fat when I was younger, so now like I try to. That's why I do my healthy stuff, and like that's one of the the main reasons why I try to be so healthy. You know, just for my kids, my shit, everybody that's coming up under me and that's paying attention to me, because sometimes I'm posting like these shots and stuff on my Instagram, but I know it's like I'll see somebody else do it. I'm like, okay, I probably done rubbed off on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Like that for me, like I try to live by health as well, because growing up we all ate bad.
Right.
So coming from the community that we came from, everybody eat bad. You have pizza parties, check sodas all the time. They don't know what they call them in Baton Rouge. Coochie cups. You know those? You know what coochie cups are?
Like Dixie cups or frozen cups.
Yeah, like a frozen cup.
Yeah.
Nothing but sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar and ice. Frozen sugar. So, eating those, and of course I'll let my kids experience that, but for the most part, man, I'm trying to change the narrative for them, and like you say, the way we grew up, I don't want my kids to grow up like that.
Right.
How you dealt with that when they call you short fat though?
Bro, I just want to work it out, bro. I ignored it a little bit, but
it hurt your feelings.
Yeah, it hurt my feelings, bro. It hurt me bad, bro. So I was like, shit.
Well,
so when I told you that, I thought about that. I was like, that came all wrong inside. I thought about that, cause and the reason why I thought about it is because I know I meant. Even though it may, I know it bothered you, but you knew I ain't tried to like hurt your feelings when I said it. Yeah. But you got to be mindful of.
Yeah, my bad.
you gotta
He was
be
empty, bro.
you gotta be mindful of what you be saying because
Right.
like I was just trying to like I was just trying to get you to pull out like something that I ain't know about the sauna.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Right.
Cause like I do yoga, right?
Right.
And TJ like the sauna, so he be convincing me about the sauna.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, bro, what you trying to convince me about? I mean, I know why people do the sauna,
Right.
but I know why I'm doing yoga. Like, yoga is like is a more intense version of the sauna. But
Right.
unless he could tell me like something about the heat that's just different from. So that's what I was trying to pull out of him.
Right.
But ultimately, it opens your pores, and we kind of doing the same thing. He just chilling while he,
Right.
Now
while
when
he
I do
doing.
my band, you know, like so my purple band, my squat to press. So that's my thing. I do it at 20 minutes. So when I get in there for 20, the first 20, or the first 5 minutes of I do 5-minute increments. So I do squat to press. Then I'll sit down. 15 minutes, same thing. But
I mean,
man.
you're gonna be inspiring the other guys in there.
Yeah,
because
for
everybody
sure.
else they just sitting in there just
For sure,
chilling, you know.
For sure, yeah.
So it's like when I mean, I guess everybody kind of deal with bullying a little bit. Like I remember when I was young, I can't say I dealt with bullying, but like I'm dark skinned, man. So it's like when I mean y'all know I'm fucking dark skinned, but like whenever I was real young in the neighborhood, like all with my cousins, like my older cousins, like cousins a little older than me, we'll have joning sessions where we kind of like drive each other,
Right.
and they'll be making all kind of black jokes, and I can't say I was like I wasn't like an insecure kid or like not a confident kid, but it bothered me a tad. But I always had some shit to say too.
Gotcha.
But when I went back, it'd be like, bro, you blacker than the mother, you know.
Yeah.
But as I got older, or even then, you realize, bro, like all you can do is be the best version of yourself.
Right.
And I can't. I mean, Michael Jackson was able to become lighter and brighter, but
That was crazy.
But do you realize, Brandon, how few people actually make that change? Where they go like, you know, I'm going to become the best version of myself to fight against that.
Yeah.
You know, very few. Most of them, they absorb that energy and they identify with that. They're like, all right, maybe I am a failure. And then once that seed is planted, 99% of the time it's a wrap because the brain is so interconnected and all that stuff. So when they absorb that negative, whatever belief systems it is, that becomes their identity and their path for the rest of their life.
yeah, I agree with you because I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. I just felt like I was lucky because like I went through so many tough situations in life.
Right.
At every different level, I felt like I had to deal with something very challenging.
Right.
And I always looked at it as like, you know, all I could do is be my best self in this situation. You know what I'm saying? I can't grow to 7 foot. I can't turn into a point guard. I just got to be, you know what I'm saying? And that's with everything in life. That's how I look at it because, like, if you don't, right, you end up turning into a bully. You know, you end up turning into a jealous person.
Correct.
You turn into all these different things and you start projecting.
Yes.
Like you was talking about all the kids did you at school. So
Yes.
So I just feel like everybody just gotta understand. Like I don't know, I said this on podcast before, but it's like understand everybody got their own strengths and weaknesses.
Correct.
You know, and all you could do is be the best you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you were getting bullied, Mark, I know you said you would go home, you know, play the PlayStation and whatnot. Like, so do you feel also that the love that you received from your parents helped you out in those situations?
It was the only thing keeping me alive.
Wow.
I will never forget one particular situation when I was 9 years old. So like the word that like everybody said back in the day was faggot. Like that was just the word
Yeah,
that they
That was
used.
a popular word, right?
And I didn't or gay, right? And I'm like 8 or 9 years old. I don't know what this means. All I know is that with their intonation, that it means something bad. It means something negative, you know. And I remember like just finally, because I keep things to myself, But I remember I woke up one day and I just cried. And I don't cry. And one day I just woke up and I just cried. Like, why are they doing this to me? I'm literally a nice person who wishes nothing but the best for everybody. Mm-hmm. So why are they doing this to me? And I remember telling my father that he went ballistic. And he's like, all right, we're going to go to the principal's office right now. And we're going to talk about this to squash this, right? And we went to the principal's office. And all I remember was at the end of a 5 or 10 minute conversation was she politely asked my parents to leave the room, which they did. And then she looked at me dead in the eye and said, Mark, it is okay to be gay.
Oh my God. Wow. But go ahead.
I didn't say anything, but I went home and I hung myself. The rope broke. That's why I'm still alive. But like she pushed me over the edge with again words, talking about the power of words. She confirmed to me that I was this virus. I'm sure in her brain she was like, oh, maybe he's closeted or whatever, which I'm not. But like she didn't even question me. She didn't ask me any questions. She just went straight to it. It's okay to be gay.
That's wild.
And it broke me. I had my limitations, but that moment broke me as a child. And that's when I tried to take my life. I go, I cannot stand this suffering any longer. But when it broke, I go like, okay, maybe that's some message from a divine power. Be like, no, this is not your time. Push forward, continue on. And that's when I did. And then I went to school and I was like, you know what? F all of you. I'm just going to do my own thing. And I became just very introverted, talked to nobody. And I just became the quiet, the super quiet kid.
Mm-hmm. You know what's so crazy? It's hearing you talk about this, it's so deep, right? It's so deep, bro.
Right.
But the fitting in part ain't even that deep.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying, for example, like, let's say you went to school with TJ, right? Mm-hmm. And he was the cool kid on the basketball team.
Right.
And all of a sudden, TJ took a liking to you.
Right. So
y'all hang together now.
Uh-huh.
And now you get to see everybody from who they are through TJ lens.
Correct.
It's gonna change it's gonna change your school experience.
Yes.
Because you with TJ and you seeing things through TJ lens, right?
Right.
And he making you like you one of his boys, so now you cool. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And like I noticed that that's a thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kids, that struggle with not fitting in. Maybe be like, like you a kid that don't live in the neighborhood, right? Mm-hmm. But your school is in the neighborhood, and there's one kid, for whatever reason, he don't live in that neighborhood, but he go to that school, so he stick out like a sore thumb.
Correct.
You don't know the cool lingo, you don't wear the cool clothes.
Right.
So, you probably gonna get bullied.
Right.
But what I'm saying is the kids don't necessarily, they ain't even thinking that deep about purposely trying to bully you. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not even that deep, but like, and that's why, when you say the power of words, like, but you taking the words in and your mind and it's getting deeper and
right.
It's getting crazy and crazy. And that's what's wild.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I wish more kids knew, like, it's not that serious or it's not that deep as we take.
Right, but the fact that the suicide rate is so high, especially amongst 12 to 18-year-olds, mm-hmm. Both male and female, suicide rates have skyrocketed. Mm-hmm. So the words are destroying people.
Yep.
Because the bullying is no longer ending at school. Now it's online. With the harassment, they're all being nasty to each other online. Mm-hmm. And we're humans. We're supposed to be helping each other. Like, we are social creatures. We're meant to be together and combine and make ourselves better and everyone else better. Mm-hmm. But it hasn't become that way. It's become a big competition of who's better, who's this and who's that, and then you add the clicks and the popularity contest and all this garbage that people are being driven towards extreme anxiety and extreme depression amongst rates that's never been there before. We are living in those times right now, and I'm tired of this happening, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, mm-hmm. to make an impact on this particular problem going on.
Bro, I never realized how bad like bullying was.
Yeah.
And like you know how they say you never know what a person is going through, so always be kind to everybody.
Correct,
right?
correct.
So I had a kid that I was training. This was probably was 20. He died in he killed himself in 2018.
Right.
Right. So I used to go to Jacksonville, train him all the time. This kid Aaron, bro. My cousin called me and was like, "Hey man, did you hear about what happened to Tommy?" I'm like, "Nah, what you mean?" He's like, "Man, Tommy killed himself." Oh. So his dad was a police officer.
Right.
He was getting bullied at school, and he was one of them kids, bro. Like if you see him, bro, like you wouldn't even think that he's going through anything. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he's always coming in the gym, laughing, joking around.
Right.
And then they like, "Man, Tommy killed himself." So went home from school that day. He kept calling his dad, and his dad like kept blaming himself. Even to this day, when I talk to his dad, his dad would be like, "Man, if I only just would have answered the fucking phone." Like his dad, like he kept calling his dad.
Right.
Dad didn't answer.
Right.
Went to the crib.
Yeah.
Shot himself in the head, bro. And dad came home, and he's like, came home and found him.
Wow.
And he's like,
wow.
I never knew that he was going through anything.
Yep.
So that's why it's important. You know, you gotta have either some people around you that you can like, you know, talk to, but it's important that you just got to be able to like let it out with somebody, bro. You got to be able to talk to somebody because some kids don't have that outlet, and man, that's when it goes downhill from there.
That's why mental health is so crucial, especially now. You know, we have suicides and murders that are out of control, and so much of that is stemming from people just being nasty towards one another.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you had a mental health issue? You feel like you had a mental health issue, or the kids who were doing the bullying had the mental health issue?
They're the ones that
both.
they're the ones that have the issue. Because I'm the one. I'm literally the one trying to be nice and kind, right? They're the ones who are projecting their insecurities, their negativity, their whatever onto me. But the reason why it's not their fault is because we are not taught how our mind works. Kids are taught in school, you know, reading, science, math, history, but they're not taught the most important thing, which is psychology, how your mind works, how your brain affects your actions, how your thoughts and beliefs change your neurochemistry and affect your behavior. What it means to be human, how this controls this, which affects everything around us, you know? Because we are not taught that, and that crucial piece of information is missing, people are behaving this way subconsciously out of their primal reptilian brain, which is focusing just on survival, power, and hunger. You know, the primitive instincts, and that's why when you see like a 3 or 4 year old child that says they're arguing over the toy, that's my toy, that's my toy, it's their reptilian survival brain telling them to behave that way. The thing is, we have a higher mind, which is the neocortex, which is capable of critical thinking, reasoning, memory, and imagination. These higher faculty skills, which is what makes human beings different from the rest of the animal kingdom. That's why we're able to create all this around us. We can use that towards building a better society and creating a better humanity by instilling into the hearts that you can be a better person, vibrating on a higher level of love and gratitude. That's why I love quantum physics, because it connects us, this vessel that we have, to our outside environments. So I believe this collective violence of negative energy and mass shootings and suicides, it's all a symptom of the same thing. Low vibration, low frequency, and low energy. My goal is to try to get as many millions of people outside of that to put them into a higher frequency of love and gratitude vibration. And if we do that collectively, then I believe within one generation, suicides, murders, mass shootings, and school shootings will all drastically go down.
And you think it all stems from survival? 99% of people are in survival mode.
They are. That's exactly what it is. That's how our brains are from birth, because we need that. Because back then, you know, thousands of years ago, before we have this modern society that we're in, we were in, you know, tiki huts or, you know, sticks and stones and in the village in the forest and whatever, right? So we needed that survival brain to survive then, but we don't need that now. But people are still acting in that survival environment, but instead of being afraid of a bear coming in to kill them, now it's some Jimmy or whatever person making fun of them, and they have nothing to counteract that with.
So what's the opposite of survival mode, or what's the mode you feel like people need to be in instead of survival?
Gratitude and thriving.
Thriving, right? Yeah, thrive over survive. Yep.
Yeah,
I agree.
So, but that can only happen once you make that shift within, and change into that new energy level.
You know what's so crazy is no matter the level you are at in life,
Right.
you know, you can be up here and still be in survival mode.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Who talks about that a lot is Bob Proctor.
Bob Proctor. I know.
I love that man. Mm-hmm. He gets it, and he makes so many situations where people live like that, where you can be this certain way but still be living down here. You know, so it's
so many examples of that. Like when we talk about basketball, it's like
Too many.
I'm saying we talk about basketball, it's like because we talk about TJ trains. You know,
right.
He it's simple. It's like kids not knowing who they are.
Correct.
So instead of them knowing who they are and thriving in their role as a, you know, they be in survival mode and they compete against each other.
Right.
And they get nowhere fast.
Because they don't know their purpose.
Yeah.
That's where a huge problem of a lot of people, especially young adults or middle-aged adults or whatever adults that are also in depression, is because they're not living their purpose. And we are not taught our purpose. We're just taught to get the bread. In the survival, you got to do what you got to do to get the money, and you'll be good. Right. But the fulfillment is gone, and then that's why you have millionaires and billionaires who take their own lives because they're not fulfilled. Yeah, we are. What the purpose of us and us being here is to serve one another. And you can do that, but also doing what you love. You love basketball. We love watching basketball. So you are serving your purpose by doing what you love, and then we also love watching you play, and then we all win. You know? But we are not taught to follow what your purpose is. So somebody else's purpose might be they love cooking, and they want to, deep down they want to open up their own restaurant and be a chef, and they can have their own abundance financially or fulfillment wise by opening their own restaurant and serving the public and serving great food, and then everybody wins. But no, maybe their parents are like, no, you need to be a doctor, or you need to be whatever it is. And they will go this alternate path, and they might be successful on paper,
but not happy.
But they're extremely depressed and sad inside. So that's another aspect of society that needs to change, and what we need to teach the kids too. So there's so many layers to this that we need to solve. Because that's what my ultimate goal is to end the amount of violence that's going on, and people are just sad and angry and bitter inside, and we're witnessing it with all the shootings and violence that's going on, and trying to do what I can to stop that.
So critical thinking. That's big, man. Because that's just like we on the podcast, we always talk about looking at things from a different perspective.
Right.
And all that is saying just incorporate critical thinking.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But tell us about In Plain Sight, the project you're working on.
Thank you. This has been a passion project of mine for years because I'm in the film industry, and it's been very fun. But now I'm wanting to take a different route and produce my own film because it's something that I'm truly passionate about. And the film is targeting specifically school shootings. This is another pandemic that's going on that nobody is doing about. And every time there's a shooting, there's always two knee-jerk reactions. The first one is thoughts and prayers, which respectfully we need action. And then the second one is gun control. And I tell people this all the time. We can hypothetically sign a law today, ban all guns today. There will still be 500 million guns circulating in the United States. So if somebody wants to find one, they'll find one like that. So what's going on? Like why are kids shooting up the schools? And there's a variety of reasons involved, including what I talked about with the sexual abuse and drug addiction and all that stuff. But the number one cause of the shootings is bullying. And people don't realize that the scientific term behind the bullying is human dominance behavior. And that's the primitive part of our brain focusing on survival. How do we overcome that? We teach the kids, we give them, instead of being these helpless little babies and toddlers, which they are. They have no choice but to be. But at a certain age, when they start, having their first memories, like around 4 or 5 years old, you can start incorporating self-actualization to the kids as soon as possible, where they are aware of their actions. And that's where the secret sauce is. Once we teach the kids that they don't have to be in survival mode, that they can be in thriving mode as early as possible, and then incorporate on top of that classes on meditation and mindfulness, because that's what they're doing in like Japan and other parts of the.
My wife just sent me that, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
From like up until 6 years old, they're not even teaching them school stuff. They're teaching them how to like just be independent, how to teach them to think with their mind and control their emotions. Like they be in class sleep, bro. That's crazy. She just sent me that.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
like for them, rather than giving detention, they'll give them classes on mindfulness and meditation to calm their thoughts.
Yeah.
And that's where the power. That's why meditation is so powerful. Is because you're able to stop all the thoughts going on in your mind, put a pause on that, step back, breathe, and be like, no, I can take a new thought and take a new action, and make a different decision, make a different life. That's what we need to teach the kids as early as possible. This information, and then the other layer on top of that is teaching them the law of attraction, vibration, energy, and frequency, which is, it's been proven by quantum physics that we are energetic beings. And if we all shift from an energy of the low vibration of fear, anger, and sadness towards love and gratitude and prosperity, we can all collectively win. Do this on a mass scale, people are become much more aware of who they are and how they act. And if you tell a kid, like, hey, if you know this information and you still want to bully somebody, it's going to come back to you. And that's not some woohoo whatever. Like quantum physics has proven to us that energy will come back to you based off of the frequency and the vibration that you are in. So they will think 2 times, 3 times before they say something negative.
Right.
On the flip side, being positive, you can attract that life to you. You will attract positive people, positive circumstances, situations, all that towards you, which will help you towards the new life that you want to live. Whether it's your career or finding a soulmate or a dream home or whatever it is, you shift into that new frequency of energy, you will vibrate that into your life. And that's like, if I knew this at 5, and I was seeking this information as a 5-year-old. I was always looking around like, what is the purpose of this reality? I wasn't focused on, whatever stupid thing that was going on for kids, play with this toy.
Yeah.
I was wondering like, what is this world that we're living in?
Yeah.
But school never gave me direction because I don't think they never thought abstractly enough to do this. And that's the solution towards this problem of the school shootings, and that's how this is all related towards the film. In the film, in plain sight, we're going to show to you, because there's going to be 2 main characters. It's the bully and the bullied kid, and the dynamic that they go to between with one another, and the cause of events that happen of the kid being nasty to the other kid, eventually leading him to do this mass shooting. And it's literally right in your face, like, hey, this is what's causing this. What can we do to solve this? And it has to come from a massive scale. I believe we have to get through to the educational system, because there are plenty of teachers out there, new teachers, who are willing to teach this information. It's just adding it to the curriculum of whatever's in the environment, right, the school environment right now. Once we're able to do that and incorporate that, I believe within one generation, mass shootings, school shootings, and suicides and murders and violence in general will drastically go down.
I agree with that. I think the film is I could just see it being a big movie for years to come on mass shooting, just kind of like everything else that hit mainstream.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the impact is being able to reach the kids in the school at an early age, and because I think it's mental health on both sides. I think the kid who's getting bullied and the bully,
Yes.
they both need to have some skills to be able to thrive in certain environments.
Right.
Because in life you ain't gonna be always in this happy-go-lucky
Right.
environment, but
Right.
you got to be able got to be able to move.
Well, it's teaching them to empower them to be in that state. So whenever they do encounter difficult circumstances in their life, because they are in that state of high energy of believing in themselves and being just in that state, then they're able to overcome
Absolutely.
all of those obstacles that come to them. And that is the beauty of life. That's the beauty of growth as a human being. We come across our challenges, we overcome them, we level up here, and then we move forward until the next challenge, and then we continue to grow and evolve. And that's what makes this whole experience worth it, is overcoming all those challenges in the end. But giving the kids the tools of how to overcome those challenges is what's crucial, rather than being in that low state of energy and then having those challenges overwhelm them and destroy them.
Right.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. That
Just like kicking.
yeah, the film is gonna be one of those ones, man. So yeah, good luck with that, man. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
You know, with that, and I wish I was at your school, man. And we could have been friends. So we could have nipped all the bullying in the bud. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, no, for sure.
Cause that's like naturally a sensitive thing to me. Like, I don't like that. Like if I see bullying, like I kind of like get in the way of that. Like even if it ain't my business, like that's not I don't like to see it, cause it's like, what you doing, man? Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's your character.
Yeah. But it happens, and I understand it. Some stuff like things I lacked over the years. I've read a lot. You know what I'm saying? For all the stuff that I didn't get growing up as a kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you having the balance of having both parents. Like, you know, that's like you lucky to have that, man. That's you know. But like I feel like, as adults, we got to continue to kind of like evolve and learn, and that's what I kind of did that. You know, I actually did that over the years. I read a lot and picked up some jewels that I could take with me to be able to add to my life, and you know, and help others. What are some books you read coming up over the years that you feel like impacting you and maybe inspired you to want to do the movie Plain Sight?
No, that's a great question. The first book that I read that changed everything was the Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. That sort of gave me some direction and guideline as to what new decisions I need to make. But then that led towards the Power of the Subconscious Mind and Think and Grow Rich. Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. And then my most recent favorite book, it's my favorite book of all time now, is Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he's...
What are some things from that book that you can share with us that you feel like making a major impact on you right now?
Another great question. So Joe is able to blend neuroscience with basically spirituality into one. And he talks about how us as human beings are vibrational beings which emit an energy signature, and how that is incorporated into the energy field around us, and how our thoughts are connected to our emotions, and our emotions are connected to our feelings, and our feelings towards our beliefs, and how that runs a loop in your body, and how that controls your behavior, and how that affects the world around you. And the reason why he calls it becoming supernatural is because most people are in that low frequency and low energy states, and when you're able to elevate that and change your frequency, you're able to attract a whole new life that you never thought was possible. Again, this is information that we should all be taught as children, that we are extremely powerful beings, that we can alter the reality around us, but that only happens once we alter inside. People are too focused on changing out there. It's not out there, that's the issue. It's inside. Once inside changes, the outside changes. And that's one of the main points that he talked about in the book.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
So we're gonna transition to another to like this or like that.
All right.
And since you were a stunt actor, not a stunt double,
Right.
I'm gonna ask you some questions about that.
Sure.
Sylvester Stallone or Jean-Claude Van Damme? Who's your favorite?
Oh man.
That's a good one, bro.
Oh man. I really love Jean-Claude because he's just able to do things that no other action star at the time could do with these spinning fly kicks and all that stuff. It was the split kicks. But I have to give it to Sylvester Stallone especially because of what he went through growing up and how he had to sell his dog and to survive in New York, and how it came with how it inspired him to push to the next level to write Rocky, and that's what elevated him to his.
Rocky was based off of a true story?
Well,
or some of the events inspired it?
Well, no. How the script came about to be? Do you know how the script was?
No.
Okay. Sylvester Stallone was trying to survive in New York, and he was going through a really hard time, so hard that he eventually had to sell his dog, which was like his life to him, to just eat. You know what I'm saying? And he just had a point where he was like, you know what, I'm done with this, and he just started writing. He started writing the script for Rocky in his apartment studio over in New York. And I think he did it in like 4 days. He did it really fast. And then
That's when you know it's special too, but go ahead. Yeah.
And what's even greater about it is that when he introduced the script to producers, they were like, yeah, we love this. How much you want for it? And he goes like, oh, well, I would want this for it, but I also have to, I'm also the main actor. And they were like, what? No? You cannot be in this film. You're not a good actor. You're not a whatever. He goes like, all right, the script is mine. No. Here's more money for it, but you can't act in it. No, I refuse. So he was able to negotiate to them where he was actually able to be like, they finally agreed to his conditions to be the main actor in the film, and thus the legacy of the whole Rocky story carried out. So it was truly, I really love Sylvester Stallone because his was the true underdog story in real life, was translated into the film as well. I have so much respect for that man.
I love Rocky.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually, and it's just, you see the shirt I have on, right?
Yeah, there it is.
So I actually put my family on, everybody watched Rocky this year. Mm-hmm. No, last year. Like, maybe when was that? Like maybe like before Christmas or something. I had everybody watching Rocky. Like everybody. My youngest daughter, my oldest daughter, my son, and my wife.
Right.
And we watched 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mm-hmm. And they was mad at me at first. Like, Dad, like, I don't want to watch this. You know, everybody talking about me. And then before you know it, they was like, Dad, can we watch Rocky? You know. So everybody watched the 1 through 4 with me. They love the movie now. Mm-hmm. But I always been a fan of Rocky. I love Adrian though. You love Adrian from the movie? Mm-hmm. What about you, TJ? Adrian from Rocky. Rocky's wife. You never seen Rocky?
Wife, yeah. I don't remember his wife. No, I watched Rocky, but I don't remember.
But you don't remember him hollering, Adrian!
Bro. It's been so long since I seen Rocky too, bro. I ain't seen this one in a minute.
So Adrian is one of my favorite ladies in the movie. And she ain't really it's not nothing like striking about her. Like she ain't the girl in the red dress.
Right.
But I love Adrian. All right.
Yeah, because she's a ride or die type of woman.
Yeah.
And that's at the end of the day, as men, that's the woman that we need in our lives. Is somebody who will be there through the hardest times, not someone. Oh, times are tough. Bye. Right. Nah. I'm here with you.
Yeah,
you
she
know?
wrote. Listen, thick, bro. That was a good one. That's a good one. Thick and thin.
Yep.
Thin again.
Yep.
Back thick. Like
Yep.
she.
Exactly.
She. Yeah, I love.
She's
her.
a real one.
Yeah, I love her personality. She's so chill, man.
Right.
And so supportive. But Paulie pissed me off, man. Fucking
Yeah.
Paulie, bro. You know Paulie from?
No, bro. I'm just letting
Paulie,
y'all
bro.
like really.
Yeah.
Really pissed.
Yeah. But yeah, Rocky. Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van
Jean-Claude?
Damme or the Rocky series. Which one would you pick? Bloodsport's bad, and both of them, bro.
Yeah.
What'd you pick?
Well, I mean, because Rocky spanned multiple incredible films. Bloodsport, there was
Just
the
that one, right.
the one good one. But man, it's such a good movie.
Yeah. The Rocky series, though, right?
Yeah.
But Bloodsport is bad, bro.
Bloodsport is such a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother still watch Bloodsport to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Julia Roberts or Angelina Jolie?
I'd have to say Julia Roberts. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie, she's Angelina Jolie,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But like Julia Roberts, I don't know, there's something about her, man. Like,
Yeah.
especially in the film Pretty Woman, she
Yeah.
just had this
Yeah.
super magnetic
That's a good
appeal.
one. Yeah.
But like, you draw a lot to her character. Jolie, like, she has the incredible, stunning looks.
Yeah.
But like, Julia Roberts is like that girl next door type of vibe, and she just, I don't know, she has like there's like a depth to her that I feel like you have to understand to be more in touch with her. So
You know what's so cool about her? Like she went from Pretty Woman
Mhm.
to what's the movie called? Is it Eat, Pray, Love or something like that? Is it? She got Eat, Pray, Love. I think it's Eat, Pray, Love.
Right.
But I'm saying like for her growth in her like all her films from like Pretty Woman where she was like a hooker
right,
to Eat, Pray, Love. To like one of her later movies. I think it's kind of like just evolution. You know what I'm saying? It just shows growth as
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's cool. So being tall or short? You rather be tall or you rather be short?
Oh, tall.
Tall. Because
Yeah.
you remember when you was young, kids picked on you for being tall. Would you rather be short?
Well, first of all, everyone's a king. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it's who you are inside that matters.
Sure.
But like, I loved embracing who I am as an individual.
Yeah.
Where I was ashamed of being tall because people, whatever, made fun of me. But I realized that, like, and then for a while, I wished I was shorter. I was like, man, if I was shorter, people wouldn't make fun of me.
Yeah,
the games that we play in our
Crazy.
brains, you know what I'm saying, when these situations happen is crazy. But, like, I became comfortable in who I was, and, like, okay, I love who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, it's everyone's responsibility to love who they are, regardless of whatever,
Sure.
size they are. So,
Big truck or big car?
the what?
Big truck or big car? Which one you rather drive? A big truck or a big car?
I like a truck because I love the space. And especially with us being as big as we are. Like,
You look like a big truck driver, man. You know Mystical, the
I
rapper.
remember
Yeah.
that song too.
Yeah. Last couple questions I got for you.
Sure.
Best compliment you ever got?
I've never been asked that before. Best compliment I ever got. I would say somebody. I was hanging with some friends one day at like this at this restaurant a long time ago, and I was just minding my own business, talking with them, doing our thing. And then this one woman came up to me out of nowhere, and she was like, "Man, I don't know what it is about you, but I love your peace." And that struck me. You
You
know,
got clothes on, brother? We're good now. I'm with you.
peace of the heart. You know what I'm saying?
Got
That's
you,
a different
got you.
piece.
got you.
Yeah, no, she said like because she said she like reads energies and
Yeah.
she's an auric reader and stuff like that, and she said like she could sense like the energy that I had from across the room, and like how like of a peaceful person that I was, and that just really struck out to me. So
You could interpret that in so many ways, but I get that.
no, she was clear with what.
Nah, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Worst piece of advice.
Worst piece of advice.
Yep. Worst thing somebody has said or told you, and you was like, yeah. Anything in particular?
Man, just I want to think of like the bullying episodes where, you know, people just said, you know, you're not. They never gave me advice. They just gave me insults.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just the whole category of just people just saying bad things to me. It's all in that same category.
Something you wish you were better at.
Discernment. Sometimes I've read so many books on so many subjects. I feel like I just know a lot, and sometimes that clouds my judgment, and that's where, you know, pride comes in, and that's something that, you know, I've ever since getting into my own power as a person, I've struggled to, like, you know, don't let it get to your head. You know, just stay humble.
Oh, like meaning like you won't be having patience with people. Like
Patience with people, or think I've studied so much about
you
it
know.
that I know know everything.
No,
you
I
know?
got you.
And that's bull crap. You know,
Right.
we always can learn more. So just
I got you. Guilty pleasure.
I like to eat the same food every day. Like one meal a day. I like to have the same like Thai food. Like that's just my thing. So.
Person you would love to trade places with for a day.
Man, trade places with for a day.
Famous actor. I don't know. A bully.
No, Selena Gomez.
Huh? You want to be her, or you
No,
want to just spend a day with her or something? Like, what's the thing?
No, well, Selena Gomez, because she has the same ambition and push for trying to help out humanity. She has she's massive into mental health and trying to help others.
Yep, I got
So
you.
like I feel like just her because we're thinking along the same lines of trying to help as many people as we can.
Yeah. You know what's so dope, bro? Like, I feel bad that you went through what you went through, but I think the fact that you using that as like a tool to impact, you know, kids
Yes.
and future generations is powerful, bro. It's cool, man.
No, I appreciate it, and I only know now. I didn't know then. I thought I was gonna have a very different life than what I do now. I thought I was gonna just, you know, disappear into the office workplace environment and just kind of just go into my own cave and just do my own thing, because that really is where my life was headed completely. And it was only overcoming the obstacles and the challenges and the growth and all that stuff where just everything changed. And of course, only now that I'm grateful for that, because now I can use the pain and the story to push something that's so important to myself, but also to all of us too, because this impacts all of us. Kids killing each other, like, or even adults killing each other, like people hurting each other all the time. Like that's not how we're supposed to live.
Right.
You know, so I'm just trying to change the narrative and all that.
I think you'll be able to pull it off. Keep
Thank
on
you.
working at it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep.
I appreciate
Hey,
you.
before we leave, though, I wanted to talk, like, just say this one quote that I saw, bro. It was saying people raised on love will do anything for you,
Yeah.
and people raised on survival will do anything to you. So when we were talking about survival mode,
Yes.
that made me think about that quote. I just saw it like a couple of days ago, and I'm like,
That's a powerful
that's
quote.
true.
That is a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
powerful quote.
Yeah,
I
I
love
like
that.
that one too.
yep. So,
Yeah.
man, legit, bro.
Thank you,
Appreciate
TJ. I appreciate you, man.
Until next time, we out.